podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
Thanks for choosing this free Anfield Index podcast. If you'd prefer to listen to this or any of our other shows without adverts, then now's the time to check out Anfield Index Pro. With AI Pro, you can supercharge your entire listening experience. You'll not only get all of our podcasts without the ads, but you'll have them far faster with our quick publish feature available exclusively for subscribers. AI Pro also puts you in the heart of our sound studio, with an option to listen to many of our shows live and interact with the podcasters in real time as the shows are recording. Upgrading couldn't be easier. AI Pro is available on all popular podcast platforms, and we have our own apps for Apple and Android. Just head on over to AnfieldIndexPro.com and get started today.
Hello and welcome to the Daily Red, your lunchtime catch-up on all things Liverpool FC on a Friday before the weekend on which we take on Tottenham in our third last game of the season and Jurgen Klopp's third last game in charge, his second last game in charge at Anfield. Jurgen has done his press conference today and he's had quite a lot to say. A lot of interesting things have come out of it. I think we'd all agree with much of what he says. However, I do think a couple of the things he said highlight why we've had issues with certain organizations in recent years. So this is Anfield have done the 5 best bits from his press conference. Let's look at those. So perspective on Liverpool's Champions League spot. He said that it was clearly the most important thing was to get back into the Champions League for next season. Obviously, Tottenham losing last night confirmed that it was basically confirmed beforehand, but it is 100% confirmed now. That's what we did. It's super important for the future of the club. He hasn't forgiven Simon Hooper. Sunday brings the reverse fixture from September's ridiculously controversial loss at Tottenham, which featured a disaster class from referee Simon Hooper. Now, I'm going to stop that there. Simon Hooper wasn't the one to blame. The VAR was the one to blame. Simon Hooper didn't realise that the VAR thought the goal had been given and were okaying the goal to be given. He thought the VAR realised that it had been flagged for offside, and when they told him, check complete, that they were confirming the on-field decision of offside. Now, of course, he says, good process, lads. He's praising them because he doesn't realise Dave made a mistake. You can see the moment when he's told, hang on a second, we've made a mistake here. You can see that moment. The free kick is taken for offside. Ball goes up the field, comes down the field, goes out for throw-in. And he's clearly told then, we've made a mistake. That goal should have been given. It's onside. And we've all heard the audio of them saying there's nothing we can do. Now, that's bullshit. That is nonsense. He could have stopped the game. He could have stopped the game. That's where he makes the mistake. But the process, the disaster class, that is from the VAR. What Simon Hooper is in there is an unprecedented situation. So I wouldn't hit him too hard for that. Jurgen said, I don't want to make it the biggest subject, but I cannot forget the Tottenham game as well. It was so strange. Only the other night, for the first time since Tottenham, that Simon Hooper was standing next to me in a game I didn't enjoy in the first place against Everton. I tried to get it out of my head and couldn't. Yeah. And you spent the entire first half berating Simon Hooper over whatever, rather than managing your team. So I take issue with Jurgen's behaviour in that game. Now, I'm the first to back him when he rightly has a go at officials. However, the treatment of Simon Hooper in that game was wrong. Were there soft free kicks given? Absolutely there was. Was Simon Hooper the one giving them? No, he was not. was berating Simon Hooper for 30 minutes the best use of your energy and your time? No. Your team were getting battered on the pitch. And you did nothing to try and alter it in the first half. So he's wrong there. And also, without doubt, one of the reasons PGMOL have a dislike of us is the way Jurgen has treated certain officials over the years. If you think it hasn't made a big impact, you're kidding yourself. You're allowing Jurgen to skate on that one because you love him, which is fine. He deserves that. But he has had a negative impact in that regard. Never, ever underestimate the pettiness and the spitefulness of the human race. There is no question that there are people in the PGMOL, decision makers in the PGMOL, who have a grudge against Liverpool either because of how he's treated them or how he's treated one of their friends and colleagues. That has had a negative impact on our team over the years. And as this piece said, just wait till he finds out that Paul Tierney is refereeing this weekend, because we know he's had quite a bit to say about him. And again, he was mostly right. But when you keep hammering it home, the reaction is not going to be a positive one. Somebody says Liverpool 12:30 and the whole room bursts into laughter. Now, this, again, is an area where I agree with Jurgen. But it's a bone that he has had to pick on for years, and it has had a negative effect. The centrepiece of Klopp's press conference was a lengthy rant on TV, fixtures, and in particular TNT Sports, who have subjected Liverpool to a ridiculous number of 12:30 kickoffs during his reign. Well, obviously, it was BT Sport to begin with, now TNT. They dare to give Thursday, Sunday, Wednesday, Saturday 12:30 is a crime. I was actually waiting for Amnesty International to go to them. It's just somebody who sits there and decides that. And I would like to meet or be part of the meeting when someone says Liverpool 12:30 and the whole room busts into laughter again. I would like to be there. Klopp added, in the whole world, we have the quickest turnaround between games. That's absolutely insane. But they are still happy to collect subscribers. You can take me off that list. Again, he is right. So I saw this from Michael Reid earlier on. Michael Reid. Most 12:30 kickoffs in the Premier League since the beginning of the 17-18 season. Liverpool 37, Tottenham 32, Man City 30, Chelsea 27, Man United 27, Everton 25, Arsenal 21. Now, the fact that Liverpool, Tottenham and City have all had so many more than Arsenal is bizarre. Even more bizarre is that Tottenham have had 22 12:30 kickoffs away from home. That's more than Arsenal have had total. Liverpool have had 27 away from home, which is more than Chelsea, United, Everton and Arsenal. Without question, when Jurgen has these rants about TNT, it's the same thing as with the PGMOL. He is putting noses out of joint, and the pettiness and the spitefulness that they are then retaliating with is hurting Liverpool Football Club. You don't think that factors into the decisions? You don't think that they turn around and look at it and go, well, he's never ever said anything good about us. So fuck him and fuck them. So here's what we're going to do. And I know it's not a popular thing to say, but again, you can never underestimate how petty and spiteful people can be. And there's no question in my mind that when it comes to the PGMOL and TNT Sports, formerly BT Sport, Jurgen's constant hammering on these points has had a negative impact on Liverpool. Because nobody else gets dicked as much by the referees or by the TV broadcasters as we do. And no other manager complains as much about the referees or the TV broadcasters as Jurgen. There's absolutely a link there. Absolutely a link there. A dig at FIFA for old time's sake. This is, again, one of his favourite things to go to. This, again, is somewhere where he is right. I'm not disagreeing with what he says. He is absolutely right in what he says. The issue is you can't say it as often because all it's going to do is blow up in your face. Like, remember the 5 subs thing? It's been pretty widely talked about that at least 2 Premier League clubs pushed back on the idea of 5 subs because they were fed up of Klopp hammering about 5 subs. This is again something where he is right, 100% right. But there are ways and means to go around dealing with this, and Jurgen's way of doing it has not been the right one. But he talks about the amount of games. And look, he is right. He's absolutely right. But he's also talking here about how FIFA have changed the ruling so that league matches can be played in other countries. And Jurgen says, they think let them do that, let them play there. Let's do the first 3 match days in America. All really good ideas. And again, he's right, but this isn't the way to go about it. Klopp closed off his press conference with a laugh as he headed to a separate room for his briefing with national journalists. We smashed it. Look, he's in I'm leaving anyway mood. That's fine. But these are not just comments that he's making now. He's got in a bit harder, especially on TNT from here. But these are things he's been going on about for years. And they have had a negative impact on how we've been treated, without question. Liverpool lineup versus Tottenham, 4 more changes with Virgil out. So Virgil hasn't been training this week. Now, it's not a surprise to me that Virgil is possibly a bit fatigued. Doesn't sound like there's an injury because he has taken part of trainings, of training sessions, is basically what Jurgen seemed to hint at. But if you look at the games played this year, and especially in the defensive area, like, Virgil has just played so much more than everybody else. Obviously, we've had injuries to Trent and Ibu and Robbo and Costas, and Joe's been in and out, and Kwanzaa's been in and out, and Bradley was in and then he was out, and I think he's back in training now. But the one consistent there all season, bar the 2 games he was suspended, has been Virgil. And he needs a rest. Like, he's 32, pushing 33. He plays a ferocious amount of minutes every season. And again, you look at this season, Joe Gomez, 16 starts in the league. Ibu, 17 starts in the league. Costas, 8 starts in the league. Robbo, 16. Joel Matip, 9. Conor Bradley, 10. Jarrell Kwanzaa, 10. And Trent, 22. And Virgil's on 33. The only 2 he's missed were those games that he was suspended for. You look at all competitions, Gomez 30 starts, Ibu 29, Costa 17, Robbo 21, Matip 12, Chambers 2, Trent 26, Quansah 24, which is a huge number for a first season, Bradley 17, Virgil 42, 12 more than any other defender, 11 more than any other defender in the league. Like, you look through the whole squad, Luis Diaz has started 39 games. Alexis has started 37. Virgil's 42. Like, Diaz has been rested multiple times. Alexis has been rested a couple of times, especially lately. But Virgil plays every minute most weeks. Now, others have played more games than him because there was a load of Europa League and some cup games he didn't play in, but he does just play too much. And thankfully, the season's nearly over, but there's European Championships this summer, which is just unnecessary for us because he's going to have to play a ton unless the Dutch go out early, which I don't think anybody wants because I think we'd all like to see Virgil have success at international level. So the suggested team here is Alisson in goal, Trent, Ibu, Quansah, Robertson, midfield of Dominic, Alexis, and Curtis. I hope that after this season, we never see Alexis play the 6 again. I really do. Like, I know people like to pull up counting stats and make that the backbone for their case that he's good in that position. Like, he's fine there. He's not good there. He's certainly not a patch on what he is in the other midfield role that we've played him in. And if you try and measure a defensive midfielder in terms of counting stats, I'm sorry, but you're already going in the wrong direction. Go and have a look at the best holding midfielders over the last decade. The last 15 years, really. Rodri, before him, Busquets. And just go and look at their stats for tackles, interceptions, and all that kind of good stuff that people like to pull their plums over. There's a very clear blueprint for what you want in a great 6, and it's not somebody making a shitload of tackles, a shitload of interceptions. Overworked, not overrated. Jurgen Klopp offers advice from an old man on the way out. Oh, he's talking about how Villa lost last night and how it's looking very possible that there's going to be no English clubs in the European finals. Jurgen said, obviously, the Premier League is viewed as the best league in the world. And yet there'll be no teams in European finals. But he says it's because English teams play too many games, which, again, it's something he's hammered on for a while. 3 Liverpool players received votes for the Football Writers' Player of the Year award. Phil Foden has claimed the prize after an impressive season. It's a fantastic thing where Phil Foden hasn't even been the best player in his own team and yet won this award. But it's no surprise because there's always been a very heavy bias towards players of a certain passport for this award. We all remember who won it a few years ago, despite being at best the 6th best player in our team. The year Virgil was by far and away the best player in the league, and they gave it to Raheem Sterling. We all remember them giving it to Scott Parker when his team were relegated. Masterful stuff. But yeah, Phil Foden has won the Football Writers' Player of the Year. Declan Rice second, again, not even the best player at Arsenal. Rodri third. which, I mean, I don't know how he hasn't won it the last 2 years. He's just, Rodri is the best player in the Premier League. Like, he just is the best player in the Premier League. And for him not to win it, despite being absolutely incredible in both seasons, it's just bizarre. Martin Odegaard finished fourth. Again, he was the best player at Arsenal this year. Ollie Watkins was fifth. Virgil, Alexis, and Salah all got votes. I think if we hadn't fallen apart, like up until the end of March, the middle of March, up until the middle of March, Virgil was neck and neck with Rodri and doing more for his team than Rodri, because Rodri's surrounded by just incredible players that had won 3 league titles in a row. Virgil was trying to carry a bunch of kids and dealing with all these different injuries around him and a chopping and changing of a backline. But Liverpool have fallen apart, so it's not surprised that he dropped off there. Salah obviously was great up until he went away to AFCON. It is funny though. Last night I saw an Arsenal fan. I don't know what he was waffling on about, but he was trying to make the point that Kai Havertz had scored more goals than Mo Salah since the turn of the year. And obviously, this to him meant that Kai Havertz was some sort of star. But, you know, the standard response from everybody was, well, hang on, like Mo missed months of the season. So, like, that's not really a surprise. Mo missed a ton of time with AFCON and then the injury and then the re-injury. And I thought, that doesn't even sound right to me. So I looked. Mo has scored as many goals as Kai Havertz in 2024 and has one more assist, despite playing around 800 minutes less. So Mo, in the worst form of his life, is still outperforming Kai Havertz significantly, while Kai Havertz is in the best form of his career, certainly in England. There was a time at Leverkusen where he was in better form, but certainly since he's come to England. And yet the worst version of Mo is still outperforming that. So, you know, the levels to this game are actually spectacular. Trent did not get a nomination, and rightly so. Couple of pieces here about Jurgen's press conference on Liverpool.com. I trained with Steven Gerrard and Xabi Alonso, but I should have done better at Liverpool. I'll come back to that. Jurgen Klopp calls up Rolls-Royce defender for training ahead of the Spurs game. There's a piece about lateral Gertruda. Piece about Fabio Carvalho. I almost won title with Liverpool. Now I'm going undercover on reality TV dating. Is that Ryan Babel? It is Ryan Babel, yeah. So the defender that's been called up is a Marinello, who really does look very, very promising. Like him and Trainiani are the two that we brought in last summer. Nallo came from West Ham, Niani obviously from Leicester, and both of them look a cut above everybody else who of their own age at the club. I trained with Steven Gerrard and Xabi Alonso. Oh, no way. Ajdarovic. I haven't heard or thought of him in about 10 years. When we signed him in 2007, I didn't realize it was that far ago. In 2007, he was really, really highly regarded. Went to Leicester And I lost track of him after he left Leicester. I had no idea he played for Charlton. He won titles in Greece and Sweden with AEK Athens and Djurgårdens. He retired at 31 and has become a pundit in Sweden. We signed him out of Sweden. I think he was born and raised there to Albanian parents who'd fled Albania. And actually, on the topic of Albania, can I recommend a book to people? It's called Inside the Hermit Kingdom, Football Stories from Stalinist Albania, written by Phil Harrison. And it is absolutely brilliant. I only got it the other day and I finished it last night. Absolutely brilliant. Highly, highly recommend that one. But yeah, I'm almost certain born in Sweden, raised in Sweden. Let me see. No, sorry, I'm incorrect. He was born in Serbia, well, in what is actually now Kosovo. Moved to Sweden at the age of 2. He has Albanian parents, like a lot of kids from Kosovo. There seemed to be quite a large Albanian community there. Moved to Sweden. We signed him from Falkenbergs, and he was really, really highly regarded. Very, very talented midfielder. Never quite, obviously, made the grade at Liverpool. Didn't make the grade at Leicester. But, went and had himself a solid enough career. Had, a 10-year career playing pretty regularly. Norrköping, Standard Liège, Charlton, that would make sense because Standard and Charlton were owned by the same idiot. Helsingborgs, Örebro, AEK Athens, Djurgårdens, Akropolis, who are in Greece. Swedish underage international at 17s, 19s, 21s, played for their Olympics team in 2016 and then made one appearance for Albania in 2017. I hadn't thought of him in absolute years. It's always nice to get your memory jogged about a player from the past. Somebody texted me the other day about Christian Nemeth because they bumped into him. So that was lovely as well. Fabio Carvalho has talked about how, he wants to get an opportunity at Liverpool next year. I really do think if we're looking at doing 4-2-3-1 with Slot next season, I think the 10 is the best spot for Mo. And I think Carvalho as the backup in that role works really well. And then you go Kudus or Olise on the right with Harvey as a backup. Dominic with Gakpo as the backup on the left. Alexis with Jones as a backup. A 6 with Endo as the backup. And then you have Besetic and Gravenberch for, whatever you want to use them for. That's a really tidy group. You go Darwin up front with Jota behind. So you're removing Diaz, who I'd be stunned if he's at the club next year. He will cover a Kudus or an Olise to come in. You don't need to do anything else there. You bring in the 6. And then it's just about sorting the defence. Left back, priority. Probably need a centre-back. I think Joe Gomez is going to go as well. So you might need to bring in a starter quality centre-back who can rotate with Ibu, or maybe just replace Ibu and have Ibu as the third centre-back who comes in and out. Kwanzaa as the 4th, and maybe sign a versatile, like a Gomez type of replacement, someone that can play all across the back line. Or there might not be a need to. But I think there probably will, given the amount of games. And I'm sick of us always going with this small squad nonsense. But yeah, then, Kelleher leaves. Yaros might be ready to replace him. If not, bring someone in and have Yaros as the third keeper, or Harvey Davies is the third keeper. But if it is Yaros, you just go and you find an experienced old veteran like maybe Alex McCarthy or somebody who's not going to play, but, counts as homegrown, so helps the quota, and also provides a bit of, mentor kind of guidance for younger keepers. Arne Slot lacks class after record transfer boast, says ex-Liverpool star. We'll come to that. Klopp offers Salah update after West Ham touchline. I'd imagine there was maybe 3 words exchanged between the pair of them after the game, and that probably solved it all. 4 Liverpool stars, including Nunez and Diaz, offered to Barcelona through their agents. We'll come to that. Reds get big boost ahead of Spurs game with best player package. Conor Bradley's the best player at anything. Liverpool blame Nike for kit increase, yada, yada. Let's see. Incoming Liverpool head coach Arne Slot has been told he lacks class by a former Liverpool player following the Feyenoord's manager's boast that he is to become the most expensive coach in Dutch history. Oh, for the love of God, Stephen Warnock, would he ever just go away? Would he ever just go away? Like, nobody cares what Stephen Warnock has to say. Some crappy Catalan media has El Nacional. Awful. Like, Indy Kayla has more credibility than El Nacional. Ivan Schwackhoff has more credibility than El Nacional. Now, not to compare Indy with Ivan. Indy, of course, is a well-established, high-end journalist who breaks news on the regular. Ivan's a bit of a spoofer. I wouldn't be surprised if Diaz was offered to Barca, because his agent and his dad do seem to want to move him on, and it appears likely he would like to move on, but I'm not having the rest of it. And apparently Costas and Fabio Carvalho as well. I mean, sure, whatever. AnfieldIndex.com. Home of the good guys. There's a piece up about the press conference. Galatasaray eyeing a move for Ryan Gravenberch. Fingers crossed on that one. Liverpool suffer blow in their interest in Nicolo Barella. I wouldn't imagine there is any interest. Fabio Carvalho, Arne Slot, there's loads there. Podcast-wise, there's a new Scouted. There is the new Molby on the Spot, which is an absolute belter. Listen to that one this morning while trying to stop the room spinning. There's a new Rival Recon, and there is a new Minefield. So as soon as I'm done for the day, I'm going to go listen to Alan and Andrew, because they're just great lads. Great lads. And that's it. That's all I have. I will see you Monday. No, I won't. Monday's a bank holiday. So I will see you Tuesday. Enjoy your weekend. I don't know. Do you English people get a bank holiday? English bank holidays 2024. You do. You get a bank holiday on Monday. Not that you deserve it, but you get one. You get one. You get 2 bank holidays in May. Oh, country full of part-timers. The early May bank holiday and the spring bank holiday. God, you don't get many, do you? You've only got 5 bank holidays this year. Oh no, 5 remaining. You get 8 in total. Well, that's not good. What about the Yanks? American, they call them public holidays, don't they? You get Memorial Day in late May. You do not get one at the start of May, because, again, you don't deserve one. But they do get cool ones, like MLK Day is cool. Juneteenth, I think, is a great holiday to have. Veterans Day. I don't know if you get off work for all these days. The birthday for George Washington. I mean, what's that about? Ireland, however, I mean, we do bank holidays right. A country of scratchers. So you get 8 for the year in England. This year, we have 10. New Year's Day, which you have. St. Bridget's Day, you don't get none of that. That is ostensibly a day to celebrate the nurses and retail workers and frontline workers who worked all the way through the pandemic when the rest of the country shut down. And one of the few good things this Irish government have done was to create this bank holiday to honour those people. St. Patrick's Day, none of yous are having that, but yous all try and copy it, but it's ours and you're not getting it. Easter Monday, Good Friday used to be, but it's not anymore. May Day, which is this coming bank holiday. Then we get June the 3rd. Then August the 3rd, the August bank holiday. There's an October bank holiday in there. Some people call it the Halloween weekend bank holiday, but, you know, it's generally not. And then there is Christmas Day and St. Stephen's Day. So 8 lovely public holidays in this country. 10 lovely public holidays in this country. So that's one thing that we're beating England at. We beat them at rugby as well. So we've got bank holidays and rugby. And Gaelic football and hurling as well. And I'm going to keep rambling. So I might as well just say goodbye. Take care. Have a good weekend. Bye-bye.
We hope you enjoyed listening to this Anfield Index show. Please be sure to subscribe to our channel so future podcasts find their way to your device automatically. There's nothing quite like fan engagement, and we'd love to know what you think of anything discussed on this show. The best way to get in touch is over on our free Discord community, where both podcasters and listeners debate the hottest LFC topics 24/7. Sign up free now at anfieldindex.com/Discord. You won't regret it. You can also follow us on Twitter at Anfield Index and find us on Facebook by searching for Anfield Index. Oh, and before you go, we'd love it if you could leave us a 5-star review on your favourite podcast app. It only takes a couple of seconds, and it means the world to the people who create these free shows.
Sports Social Podcast Network.